I am 35 years old and married for 10 years. My wife is a very dynamic and happy woman, and I love her very much. We both agreed that if either of us fell in love, instead of cheating, we would tell the other, and the problem would be solved amicably. For the first few years of our marriage, everything was perfect, but suddenly, things started to change. My wife began to distance herself from me. She was less interested in my needs. We began to make love less often, and when we did, I was always the initiator. Several times my wife made excuses for not making love to me. The next thing I learned was to ignore her, but how long would we go without lovemaking? She starved me for more than 10 months. I tried to talk to her several times. I needed to know what was wrong with her, but when I contacted her, I got no response. I was so confused. Could she be having an affair with another man? That was my first suspicion. I had known for a long time that she wasn't very friendly. She never had boyfriends. She always spent time with her friends. There were about 3 of them. I couldn't find any evidence that they were in a relationship, so I decided to spice things up. I started sending her flowers when she was at work. I bought her gifts and took her out on dates. I helped her around the house. I did everything I could to make her happy. Once, after a romantic date, I suggested we make love and she said yes. But I think maybe it would have been better if she had said no. There was no passion, no emotion, everything was boring. I remember lying in bed that night and crying. What had I done wrong? What had happened to my wife? Wasn't she the same person who had shown such a strong sexual appetite in the early days of our marriage? I wanted to tell her parents, but I was so afraid. What would I say to her parents? Would they really say that she was cheating on me without any proof? I was so confused. Everything seemed like a complicated jigsaw puzzle. One day, as I was getting ready for work, she told me she wasn't going to work that morning. She asked me to take her daughter to school. At work, I remembered that I had left some important papers at home and waited until my lunch break to pick them up. When I came home after lunch, everything was quiet. I looked downstairs and she was gone. Then I thought she must have gone out. When I went upstairs, I heard moaning coming from her room. I thought she was crying, so I went to her room and opened the door. Guess what I saw? My wife and her friend were making love. I couldn't believe my eyes. Why didn't I realize it before? We had been together for over 5 years. After I found out, she apologized for the pain she had caused me. She told me that she knew she liked women from a young age, but was afraid to talk about it because of her family background. He thought he would lose his feelings for women when he got married, but he didn't. The hardest part was when he told me he loved me and didn't want to divorce me. She also said that she wanted to keep things private and that I could have a mistress to fulfill my sexual needs. I couldn't believe that such words could come from the mouth of the woman I loved. Inside, I was at a loss and didn't know what to do. Of all the options, I chose divorce for the sake of our child. He was very young, and I didn't want our marital problems to affect him negatively. It has been over 3 years since we began our new journey, and I must say it has not been easy. She is still my wife, and I am still her husband. In the last few months, I have not been able to create a real marriage where there is true love and no strangers are welcome. It makes me sad when my family and friends look at us and think we are a happy couple, not realizing that our marriage is a big lie. One day I want to get out of this marriage. I want to find true love and be happy again.